Good day, everybody. Welcome to part 1 of doing Advent of Code 2015. For those who don't know, Advent of Code is a yearly recurring Christmas-themed December programming competition where there are going to be problems published every day from December 1st through December 25th, and has been running since 2015, so 6-7 years now. And we will try and solve all of them, at least for 2015 in the beginning. So let's just have a look. There are going to be 2 problems every day. And the first days are fairly simple programming problems, and when we get to the end, like December 20th and forward, it's gonna be like significantly more work to do a problem. So the first couple of days, we are probably not gonna spend too much time doing that. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. And there's always a bunch of text. I guess we'll just read it a little bit. So day 1, not quite Lisp. So Santa was hoping for White Christmas, but his weather machine's snow function is powered by stars, and he's fresh out. To save Christmas, he needs you to collect 50 stars by December 25th. So that is 2 stars per day. You collect stars by helping 7 solve puzzles. 2 puzzles will be available on each day in the Advent, and 1 puzzle will give you a star, and solving the second puzzle will give you a golden star. Alright, so here's the puzzle, what it's about. He's trying to deliver presents in a large apartment building, but he can't find the right floor. He starts on the ground floor, and then he follows instruction one at a time. An open parenthesis means that he should go 1 up, and a closing parenthesis means that he should go a floor down. So the apartment is very tall, and the basement is very deep, so we don't have to consider whether or not we're going to hit the ceiling or the floor. Alright, so in this case, 2 openings, 2 closings, so you're going to end up on floor 0. 3 openings, then you're going to end up at floor 3. Okay, so that is essentially it. Our puzzle input is a bunch of parentheses, so let's just do it. We're going to make a folder for the first day, and then say the input, if I can write, let's just do like that, and paste in our input, okay? And maybe we're just gonna make ourselves a little test input just to see if we can actually do it. So 3 openings, 2 closing, that should be us end up at floor 1. I can do math. Alright, so let's just solve the pie, and now we're going to do it, and I'm gonna do everything in Python, because Python is the easiest language to write in, for me at least. Alright. So let's just see how we're gonna do that. Yes, I'm just thinking about how I want to structure this, but okay, let's just I have some boilerplate code that I'm going to write once, and then I'm just gonna copy it from there on. Alright, so if name is equal to main, then we are going to alright, and then so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the first argument, and if that is 1, we're going to solve the first problem, and if it's 2, we're going to solve the second problem, because there's always going to be 2 problems. So if n is equal to 1, then we will solve the first. If n is equal to 2, then we will solve the second. So in this case, we haven't actually made them yet, so let's just... Alright, so that is all the boilerplate out of the way, and I think I'm going to make a little... change here. So I called our input test input.in, but I think I'm gonna call it input1.in to make sure that there might be a different input for day 1 and for day 2. Okay, so let's read the input. So with open input1.in, that's f, and then just read the data. So the data is going to be f.read, I believe. Can't actually. Then the question is there actually going to be a new line or something like that? I can never remember it. Alright, let's just try and do it. Run it. Python 3. Solve the first problem. I think there's gonna be a new line into this, so I guess I will go to strip it. So the strip removes like new line characters and whatnot. Yes, okay, so the new line is gone. Okay, now let's actually do it. So the floor So one way you can do this, I believe Python has a count function. Let's just see. So if I have a string and call it open, close, like this, and I'm gonna see s.count, this character. Haha. See, this is essentially just what solves my problem, right? Because the solution is going to be the data, which is our parentheses. Then I'm going to count the number of open parentheses, and then I'm going to subtract the number of closing parentheses, like this, and then just print the floor, and that is essentially it. Very simple problem. All right. You know what? I think I'm gonna have this one take 2 arguments, because I also have my test input that I'd like to test it on. That's gonna be path 2, path. So both of these are going to take the path. All right. So let's try and run it. Test input. I think it was floor 3. Ooh. How on earth is that going to be? Ah, yes, that's because this one should not. This one should read path. All right, so now we're actually reading the file that I'm giving as input. Won't you see that would make sense? And 1. Yes, that was also the correct answer. And apparently the solution to our input problem is 74. So let's just try and see. Hopefully it's correct. Will you look at that? We are awarding 1 gold star. So now let's go on to part 2. Now we're going to find the position of the first character that causes him to enter the basement. Floor -1. Okay. So the first one that makes us hit the basement. So I'm going to change our test input, because at this moment we are never going to hit the basement. So let's just see like that. So 1, 0, -1. So at character 3, we're going to hit the basement. All right. Let's again open the data. File. And read the data. All right, and now let's keep a counter of our floor and then just loop over the characters. And I actually also want the index that I'm at, because I want to know when I'm actually going to hit -1. So we're going to do that with the enumerate function, which is a very nice function. So the enumerate gives me not only the characters but also the indexes. So if c is equal to, that's closing, I'm going to say floor -equal to 1. If our character is equal to the opening parentheses, then floor is going to plus equal to 1. And if floor is now equal to -1, then I'm going to say it is the first time we've hit -1. I will print. There's something wrong here. I don't know. I'm going to print the index, and it is a 0 index, and then I'm going to break out of the loop, because then now we're done. Now we don't really care about the rest of it the moment we have reached -1. So let's try and solve pi 2 in this case, and let's just run it on the test input. 3. I believe that was correct. All right. And 1795. That's apparently the first time we're going to hit the basement. And let's see. Amazing. We actually solved the problem. And will you look at this? 2 stars for day 1. Thanks everybody for watching this video. And go along with me on part 2, where we're going to solve, I guess, the day 2 of this 2015 Advent of Code challenge.